I'm like this, for those people where they always talk, say, they don't know Peter Obi for North. Peter Obi is not known in the North. Peter Obi is not loved in the North. This video where I want to show now, so now for all of you now. Obi their family, anywhere you did, we can not let anybody deceive you. The Northerners love Peter Obi. This video where I want to show now, so as they watch them, make sure say you share them. Make everybody see them. Don't let anybody deceive you again. No. When I watch the video.
I think
Sorry.
I think on that note, because the question that I asked you is slightly related to the North. On this case, you say you have one of your children here. That is Dr.
And he's from the North. Yes, he's from the North too.
Yes. Madmo, you're welcome to this conversation. How are you?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm good.
Okay. So nice to have you here, Madmo. So, the question I asked before, when you look at the narrative that Peter Obi is not popular in the North, now many of us, obviously from the South, are not there with you guys. What's your view? Is that true? And what do you think are his chances of winning that election in the North as well?
First of all, it's important to say this here because it's on record that Peter Obi's biggest vote is going to come from northern Nigeria. And I'm going to give you clear statistics so you can understand. The disenchantment, the deprivation, the pulverization and the suppression of Nigerians generally, if it is, let's say 50%, in northern Nigeria is 95%. This is why you see the heightened brigandage, the looting, terrorism, the banditry, and all of things happening. It's all warehoused in northern Nigeria. All billions and billions of naira from the NNPC to the coffers of the Accountant General are all from the North. At the same time, the North happens to be the poverty capital, one of the poverty capitals of the world. That's where you have almost 15 to 20 million out of school children. So you can see that clearly. But I'm going to give you even more statistics to back that up. You see, two presidential candidates came out to say, one said that Northerners are not on social media. The other said that Northerners will only vote for Northerners. So they drive this parochial mindset. This is how they rig elections, and this is how they continue to perpetuate this rhetoric perspective that has taken us nowhere. They do that deliberately. And if we have over 500 languages, let's keep it at the major languages, which is over 250 languages. You can't give 50 languages to Southern Nigeria. But how come anytime you think about Northern Nigeria, you think about either the Hausas or the Fulanis? Where are the over 200 languages? They are all in Northern Nigeria. So you see, this is how we unbundle the lies of the yesteryears that these politicians and oligarchy have continued to parade, to keep us in darkness, and the naivety and the ignorance of people, because on the majority, Nigerians are not really educated in the context of reading and researching and understanding the dynamics of our geography and our cultural and spiritual values. So they banter and they continue to put forth those narratives that are completely out of touch with the current reality that we have. First of all, I remember I had an interview and I challenged the Igbo people. I said, any killing you see in northern Nigeria, 2 out of 10, there is an Igbo man there. There's a Yoruba man there. That's how mixed up we have become. Aside from the fact that 40% of northern Nigeria are Christians. And this is not to drive in any bigotry argument or narrative, but to tell you how big it is. I've been on ground from Maiduguri to Kano to Sokoto. I was born in Kaduna. I served in Kano. And in the last 6 weeks, I've been to Jalingo, to Taraba, and all those places. The narrative they are driving comes from just probably less than 1% of people. But because of the culture set of northern Nigeria, where whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. By the way, the Christians dress almost like, because it's a cultural value, and they are not as loud as our brothers down south. So because they do not engage with people, these leaders continue to take advantage of the cultural values that they have. You know why, as a Christian, if you want to be killed in northern Nigeria, once the Bible says that when they slap you on one cheek, you should turn the other cheek. In northern Nigeria, they subscribe to the Bible wholeheartedly, in the same way the Muslims subscribe to the Quran wholeheartedly. You couldn't try that to an Igbo Muslim or a Christian Muslim, or a Christian Southerner. You can't try that. So I'm saying this in context so you can appreciate the cultural value of northern Nigeria, which the leaders have continued forever to take advantage of. However, that is changing. But just to keep it here, what I've done has completely unbundled what they have said as concerning Obi's candidature or candidacy in northern Nigeria. His biggest votes are coming from there, because northern Muslims and Christians are joining hands together like never before in the history of Nigeria. Christians are dying, Muslims are dying. All the tribes that are warehoused in northern Nigeria are dying. So they have completely, they are disenfranchised, they are decimated. And tell you what, they want somebody, because Obi provides solution. When they look at Obi, they don't see an Igbo person. They see a Nigerian that is well beyond the rhetorics of religion, of ethnicity and anything. And they see somebody who is answering their question economically. The Igbos who have businesses in Kano and other places, they are the ones taking care of all those northerners. And so they will stand to ensure that they protect them. The narrative of that bigotry that they are selling does not even exist with the Nigerians of today, who are between the age of 18 and 35.
Are you insinuating that there is a point of departure between the ruling elite and the youth and the masses of the North? You know, when I say North, you know, when I say
understand,
North,
Papa.
basically, yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, and because of the context of our discussion, Kwankwaso's caps, you know, the Kwankwasia symbol
Red cap,
was
yeah.
put into fire, and all the youths were chanting and burning it. Even Buhari cannot win election in Katsina as it stands right now. So it's not, this is the reality, you know, that is ongoing. Forget about all the peddlings that you're hearing from all these northern leaders. Northerners, even the Fulani boy in the bush has a phone and he can access and access this interview we are having. This is the age of technology. Everywhere, the wheelbarrow boys, they all are on phones. This is why it is an aberration, because all the kidnappings that are taking place, guess what? It is through cell phones. They make the calls. People go to the bush to deliver and collect monies. This money goes back into the coffers of our banking system. So the reality is completely, these guys are alienated from the reality on ground. And I'm telling you facts and figures.
Okay. So you previously you alluded to the fact, or rather you alluded to the statement made by the former Vice President of the Federal Republic, in the person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, when in an interview he alluded to the fact that over 80% are not on the internet or doesn't have internet access. So, you know, do you and, you know, the younger people of the North, the new face of the North, do you consider that an insult, or does that actually represent a controlled narrative?
It is both, but even much worse, because how do you explain that? I have no vocabulary to describe that, the evil that statement represents. It is I'm in short of words, because look at the algorithms, the back channels algorithms is showing. Get on Facebook and see the engagements that we're having with all people all over the world. And guess what? Northern Nigeria has some of the most educated people in the timeline of global history. You know, we have was Aliu. He works in one of the best car designers of the world. In 1978, people don't know this, but Google it and see. Iya Abubakar was the VC of ABU. He ratified the calculation before Apollo 1 took off. He's a Fulani man. This is how educated our people are. Sound and educated, and can compete with anybody and anyone across board all over the world. So it is not just an insult or a controlled narrative. It is just the height of evil. Even the devil cannot be that bad because the datas are there.